The Dead Rising universe is always one that has struck a chord with me, with the setting, the music, and most of all, the story. And with the newest addition to the series right around the corner, I thought we'd take a stroll down memory lane, delving into a complete timeline of events to see how each one of these stories contributes to the overall narrative, from the origins of the zombies to the creation of the cure. So buckle up as we uncover the truth behind the complete history of Dead Rising. In the 1990s, the government sought to uncover a way to mass-produce livestock, as the amount of goods the population consumed in America had been so high. So the American government had established an operation to commence in a town called Santa Cabeza, which had been located in Central America. At the head of the operation was a scientist called Dr. Barnaby, who oversaw the research into doubling the growth rate of local cattle to meet rising demand. After construction of the research facility, the scientists had discovered a mysterious insect near to the Pachamac River. There, the scientists had named the newly discovered species as Ampulex compressor gigantus. Little did those scientists know at the time that this minor discovery would one day bring the people of America to their knees. A startling discovery they had found, however, had been that the queens of this species would latch onto hosts, and they had found the potential to kill these hosts as they feasted on their brain tissue and were solely dependent on consuming these hosts. This species had also resembled that of bees and wasps, but were far larger in size. Upon further research, the scientists had found that the wasps had what they had been looking for, an accelerated growth rate. They found that the wasps had produced a pheromone to stimulate the appetite of the larvae, and thus they sought to add this ability to their research on cows to make them fatter and plump, ready for their slaughter. However, one ability the queens had was a complete mystery to them, but they wouldn't have long to wait before the horrifying truth would be unleashed upon the local townsfolk, as one of the queens had managed to escape the facility and to travel to the heart of Santa Cabeza, where it sought a new host for its appetite, where the queen had taken one of the townsfolk as its new host, wherein piercing through the flesh of its victim, the queen had given the host its mix of bacteria and fluids that flowed through their bloodstream, where it began to infect each and every cell over a course period of time, which would differ from person to person due to the immune systems of each host trying to fight back against the flood of bacteria, but eventually the infection would win. It was a battle of time, not might. Eventually the person had turned from a living, healthy person to a nightmarish version of themselves, a zombie, where the queen's insatiable hunger had been transferred to the host as it feasted on its host's brain, and due to the infection, all bodily fluids would too carry the bacteria which, upon biting its victims, they too would turn upon death. As the number of zombies grew, the townsfolk would be alerted to the screams of horrified citizens and of those being eaten alive. Eventually, the facility would be alerted to the pandemic, and they had sounded the alarm. This is where the military had cornered off the town for quarantine, much to the scientists' dismay. However, before cleanup would commence, the key personnel had been escorted out of the nightmare unfolding. A notable member of the kill squad had been Brock Mason, who oversaw the operation, gunning down not just the zombies but also the fleeing citizens, as no one could retell the horrific tale that unfolded that fateful day. Once the military was satisfied, they had cleaned up the bodies, the blood, and the story had faded into darkness. However, there was two notable survivors who had managed to escape the anarchy, either by waiting out the storm or by fleeing the town before the military had arrived, with those being Carlito and Isabella Keys. When questioned about the incident, Barnaby had told his interrogators that terrorists had been at fault here, that they had dispersed a zombie drug that infected the population into the undead. For now, the secret of what happened in Santa Cabeza had successfully been covered up. However, what the military, or the government, hadn't expected was this secret would soon be unleashed upon the world once again. But in that time, the military would be very much outmatched. The government, however, had been informed of what happened in Santa Cabeza, and they began to think up ways to possibly weaponize the infection for their benefits. Angered by the loss of his family, Carlito through the early 2000s had concocted a plan to get his revenge on the American government and on Dr. Barnaby, where he had gathered as many queens as he could to create another zombie outbreak. But he didn't want this to be the beginning of something he couldn't undo, so he created a contingency plan so that a cure could be later found, where Isabella had created a suppressant for the zombie virus, which Carlito had taken to a non-profit organization, where he volunteered to help house the refugee orphans, where he infected them with the queens that would cause zombification to begin. However, in doing so, he also gave them the zombie suppressant as well, slowing the process down considerably so they would turn later on in their lifespan. The contingency came in one of these orphans known as Nick Ramos, who would contain the cure for the zombification process within his blood. So Nick would remain immune, but over time it would also give him the ability to heal his wounds quicker than the average person. After the children had found new homes, Carlito set his plans in motion to infect the town of Willamette, kickstarting the events of Dead Rising. Coming into 2006, just before enacting his diabolical plan, Carlito had in fact contacted the news media, including Frank West, telling them pre-hand that something big was about to go down in the town of Willamette. However, for his revenge to be in full effect, he needed Dr. Barnaby. Fortunately, Barnaby had already been in Willamette, in his lab, which had been located in the basement of the Golden Apples vineyard, which is where he would remain through the beginning stages of the outbreak. Carlito had then spread the queens throughout Willamette the following day, and just like what happened in Santa Cabeza, the queens feasted on the minds of the innocent, causing all sorts of mayhem. During the night, a mother had attempted to escape with her daughter, driving the car into the outskirts where they thought their troubles had been long since over.
Mommy? I hit my head, Mommy. Mommy? Mommy? Mommy, wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Mommy! Mommy!
Oh, sweetie. Oh, so sorry. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
As the chaos ensued, Barnaby had been called by Carlito and told him to meet him at the Willamette Mall. Just like the infection, the news would spread fast, and the government had assured everyone that it had been a simple riot, nothing more, when in fact the town was under attack from the undead. But the government, however, had called in the military to quarantine the town and prepare it for extermination, as even if a single zombie was to escape, then the entire country could be at risk from infection. Precautions had to be made, despite of the cost. As this had been happening, the town was in complete disarray, with the zombies roaming freely through the streets and homes of the residents. Eventually, a group of survivors managed to escape the carnage and force their way into the entrance plaza of the Willamette Mall. Unfortunately, they created an entrance for the zombies too, who pursued them, so they were forced to lock the doors to bar the zombies from getting in and to build a barricade. In this group, however, had been 3 notable members, with those being Dr. Barnaby, Carlito, and Isabella Keys. During this time, however, Frank had hired a helicopter pilot known as Ed DeLuca, and they had eventually came up to the town of Willamette.
Say, buddy, you mentioned something about research for a story.
That's right. Got a tip that something big's happening.
In a nowhere little town like that? They sure didn't mention anything about it on TV.
Yeah, well, I'm freelance, pal. I don't make my living waiting for the TV to tell me what to cover.
Here she is. Willamette, Colorado. Population 53,594. Distinguishing characteristics? Jack shit. About the only thing to do in this town is kill time at the shopping mall. What was that? The army? Yeah.
Looks like taking a helicopter was the way to go. I bet they got all the roads blocked off by now. All right, listen. I want to get shots of the whole town before the National Guard finishes roping it off. Take me over the main street.
As Frank scoped out the town, he could see the chaos that had gripped the locals, seeing zombies attempting to claw their way into a bus to feast on the people inside. But Frank and Ed would mistakenly call this all to be a riot. During this time, however, the military led by Brock Mason had been joined by federal agents who had been there to find Dr. Barnaby, so they too had traveled to the mall. As Frank had been nearing the Willamette Mall, he makes a deal with Ed to come back for him in 3 days so he can get the scoop of a lifetime.
All right, listen. Don't forget to come back for me.
As long as you're not dead, Fred.
It's Frank. Frank West. Remember that name, because the whole world's gonna know it in 3 days when I get the scoop.
All right.
Whoa! Shit! Get us back down to that rooftop!
No, I'm gonna get my butt chewed out for this one. We're going down. Hello there. Huh?
You're the reporter, aren't you?
Yeah.
You came alone.
Yeah, I'm freelance. You know, go on the battlefield alone, no crew. So, what's going on around here anyway?
You came by helicopter, didn't you? What did you see from the sky?
Well, if it were just a riot, I doubt the military would quarantine the entire area. The moratorium on information getting out is a little extreme, in my opinion. There's, something else I can't put my finger on. Doesn't sound like civil disobedience. It's too quiet.
Almost as if everyone's already dead.
Yeah. So why don't you just tell me already? What's going on?
I think you'd better see for yourself. This, my friend, is hell.
What in the world?
As Frank made his way through the corridors outside the security room, he found himself in the company of the survivors who fled the outbreak.
Hey, this is no time to ogle pretty girls, son. You looking to get yourself eaten alive by zombies?
What? Did you just say zombies?
Take a look out there. If those ain't zombies, what would you call them? There's been more and more of them since last night. Now, they're all that's out there. Look on the bright side. Zombies are stupid and slow. We should be safe in here. All right, then. Feel like making yourself useful? Take a look around the mall. Bring anything we can use for the barricade back here. Andale! Come on, pronto!
You! Stop right there! Do you have any idea what you've done? Why did you summon me to this place? What are you planning?
Would you calm down? I don't even know what you're talking about. What the...
What are you thinking? Let's get off!
I'm saving you, baby! Wait for me, sweetie! Madonna!
What in the hell are you people doing? Run! Quick, move! Get over here! Everyone, move this way! Quick, to the stairs! Move! Where are the others?
I don't know. I hope they got away.
As long as those things are in the mall, we'd better not use this door.
What are you doing?
The air ducts. They'll get us back into the mall. And apparently those things aren't smart enough to use the ducts. so they won't be a factor.
Wait a minute. You want to get back in there? What for? Hey.
As Frank had found his way near to the Paradise Plaza, he noticed some footsteps that were coming from behind him and deduced that a zombie had been nearby.
God, it's you. Look, don't sneak up on me.
Brad was attacked. I located him on the monitor. Oh!
It's probably just a sprain.
I've gotta help Brad, or he's done for.
All right, fine. Give me your gun. Come on. I'm the reason you just got hurt. Let me help.
No, I can't let a civilian do that. That's against regulations.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had zombie-infested malls in mind when they wrote those regulations, kid.
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know. Look, after I'm through helping you, you and I are gonna have a nice little chat.
Stunningly, in such a short period of time, the zombies had flooded through the entirety of the mall. Even though the zombies are indeed a slow adversary, the sheer number of them was indeed something to be feared. But Frank managed to find his way to the food court, to find no one in sight and no zombies.
Your, girlfriend sent me to find you.
Who? Jesse? Damn it! Okay, we'll have to talk about this later. You know how to use that gun?
I've never fired at a person.
All right, I'll cover you from here. You need to stick to the shadows. Try to get close to the target, okay?
And what am I supposed to do when I get close?
Well, the best solution would be to shoot the guy. But if you can't do that, keep him busy dodging your bullets and stay out of trouble. Are you up to it?
I'm a lot better with a camera. But yeah, I'll give it a shot.
All right. Next time he reloads, I'll lay down a suppressing fire. I'm counting on you. Make your way over there. 1, 2, 3!
After defeating Carlito, he manages to escape. However, after some bartering with Brad, the two decide it would be within their best interests to work together. After locating Barnaby, Brad had attempted to reason with the good doctor, but he wasn't having any of it.
Absolutely. Guarantee me safe passage.
Just open this gate. Just open this gate for your protection.
I am not opening any gate. Thank you very much. I'm going to stay right here.
Dr. Barnaby.
Safe.
Sir.
Thank you and goodbye.
Dr. Barnaby?
Goodbye.
He turned down my offer to protect him. Said he isn't going anywhere until I can guarantee a secure route out of here. Jesse has a direct line to HQ. The first thing we need to do is to call for backup.
During the events in the Willamette Mall, Frank would help survivors in getting to safety as more of them fled into the infested mall, seeking shelter. However, when the ride in the Wonderland Plaza had gotten out of control, Otis had told Frank to investigate, which brought him to a startling sight.
Stay away from there, Gramps! Huh? Everyone used to laugh at me. Hi. was a walking punchline. When the zombies came, everyone died. That's why I decided to give all the happy people a lift on this fun ride. I won't let you stop the ride, Gramps. If the ride stops, then the zombies come back. And that won't be any fun at all.
After defeating the Clown Prince of Madness, Frank had saved Glenn and took him back to the safety of the security room, which gave Frank a way to safely travel between the Paradise and Wonderland plazas. During the night, however, the zombies came with a startling new appearance, as their eyes, much like the Queen's, had begun to glow a bloodish red, which Frank would soon meet the ones who began the outbreak.
Damn. Shit. What in the hell is going on around here?
Over the course of these events, Frank would battle more survivors who had succumbed to madness festering within the halls of the mall, either for his own survival or to save more survivors. When morning came, the team had found a new development where they saw Carlito had taken Barnaby hostage. Seeing this, Brad and Frank had sprung into action and successfully rescued Barnaby, but at a grave cost.
I'll be fine. Just take care of the professor. Go.
He's unconscious, but alive.
Damn!
You all right?
Yeah, but I'm not in any condition to carry him. Can you get him back to the security room?
Brad! Oh my god! The sedative's taken effect. The professor won't be waking up anytime soon. I managed to stop the bleeding, but he's running a fever. He needs medicine.
A fever. Medicine, huh?
Managing to fight past all of the shambling corpses between him and the supermarket, Frank meets the manager of the store and can see that he had taken Isabella hostage, who was also looking for medical supplies to treat Carlito back at the hideout.
vandalize my store? Huh? Not on my watch!
Someone's been hurt. I need medicine.
Hurt? That's just what this bitch said when she came to vandalize my store! I don't take kindly to vandalism. I won't allow it! Listen to me, and listen good, partner. I don't allow vandalism in my store!
After defeating Stephen and retrieving the medicine, Frank had rushed back to the security room, where after talking about the events of Santa Cabeza, Dr. Barnaby suddenly became more talkative.
Dr. Barnaby, you're awake.
Santa Cabeza. I should have known. I thought Santa Cabeza was over and done with. You plan to dispense justice now?
Calm down, Dr. Barnaby. We're only following orders. We have to protect you.
Protect? More like imprison.
Professor, if we're going to protect you, we need to know the truth. All of it. Please. Talk to us. I take it you know what Santa Cabeza is. Am I right?
Fine. I'll just get my information somewhere else. Thank you very much. Maybe if I can track down that woman again.
Eventually, Isabella had returned to the supermarket to try and find the medical supplies she needed to treat Carlito's gunshot wound, which gave Frank a new lead, which he traveled to the North Plaza, but he soon found himself under assault from Isabella. But after defeating her, they arranged to meet with Carlito to get his side of the story. However, Carlito wasn't too happy with this news and refused to meet with Frank, and in the process ends up shooting Isabella as she left the hideout to go and meet with Frank.
Were you bitten?
No, it was Carlito. I tried to talk him into coming, but it was no good. He doesn't trust anyone.
He shot you?
He didn't mean to. He was upset. I don't know what he'll do next.
Hey. Hey.
As Frank had been carrying Isabella to the security room, Carlito had hacked into the speaker system and tried to apologize to Isabella and get her to return to the hideout.
His sister? What in the hell is going on here? I mean, does this have anything to do with that announcement earlier?
I don't know much more than you at this point, okay? But he shot her, I can tell you that. And just so you know, that would be the same guy that shot you.
What's he after? What's his ultimate goal?
I don't know. But according to her, his plan isn't over. Not yet.
Fine. Consider her in DHS custody. We'll question her when she wakes up. What is your name?
Isabella. Isabella Keys.
Well, Isabella, this is an emergency, so we'll skip the formalities and cut to the chase. Consider this an official interrogation. Tell me everything that you know.
Fine. I'll explain why all of this is your fault. There was no drug trade in Santa Cabeza. Just an American research facility. They were doing research on some sort of parasitic insect. Like a wasp. A wasp that turns living things into zombies. If you don't believe me, just ask the man who was in charge of that research. The head of the Santa Cabeza Livestock Research Facility, Dr. Barnaby.
Huh?
Huh?
Jesse!
It started! He's turning!
Hey! No, you don't!
I'm a zombie.
Tell me the truth, Doc. Were you conducting experiments with zombies?
Zombies? Yes. We were conducting experiments to reduce the cost of breeding. We accidentally made zombie livestock.
So the government's now in the zombie-making business. The whole story about the drug trade was a cover-up?
What do you know? We were trying to mass produce cattle. Do you have any idea how much meat Americans consume in a single day? That research was absolutely necessary! I haven't done anything
One day, in my village, the people turned into zombies. Those damn wasps. They escaped from the lab. It wasn't long before they got to work. for it. The army was called in. They killed everyone.
So, the terrorism is a retaliation for a cruel government cover-up. Sounds plausible. Or it could be some serious bullshit. In either case, we have to get out of here alive if we want to find out for sure.
We have to check if she's been bitten. Let me take a look. I'm a medical technician. I could be useful if you let me do my job. I know I have no right to ask, but please, let me help. If you don't get out of here, the truth dies with you.
All right. If allowing you to atone for you and your brother's scheme makes things go more smoothly for us, I'm all for it.
Eventually, after the night became day and with no sign of Isabella, Carlito felt like he had lost her and made one final announcement where he talks about his plans for the last resort.
Exactly what is this last resort talk all about?
Carlito said that he'd blow up the mall if he were cornered.
Damn! We've got a regular suicide bomber on our hands.
Worse than what you're thinking. The explosion would send parasitic larvae into the atmosphere.
He plans to spread zombies outside of the city? Is he insane?
If that bomb goes off, there'll be nowhere to run. The zombies will be everywhere.
He's planning to flood the area underneath the mall with flammable gas, then set it off. If you could take care of the bombs while the gas concentration is still low.
There's a chance we could stop the explosion. Let's do it.
Frank and Brad race to the maintenance tunnels to confront Carlito where he had been driving a truck, but eventually Carlito crashes it and Brad pursues him while Frank retrieved the explosives.
Terrorist days are over, Carlito. You're finished. Well, shit.
The bomb's over and done with. Brad went after Carlito.
Copy. Report back here, Frank.
Yeah. Brad? Brad?
Frank! Don't get any closer. Stay away, Frank. Don't get near me.
What's the matter, Brad? Are you hurt? I'm coming over there, Brad. We'll go back together. If you're hurt, we'll patch you up.
I'm screwed. It doesn't hurt. Not even a little. I'm already dead. Frank. Don't tell Jesse about this.
After killing Brad's zombified form, Frank had headed back into the security room, where he avoided all conversations with Brad being the subject of discussion. In an effort to find out what else her brother could be planning, Isabella took Frank to the hideout. But they encountered one problem. The computer had been protected by a password, so Isabella would continue to try and crack it, as Frank had been called away to the security room, where he saw what happened to Carlito.
That guy over there, I mean, that meat,
Oh, this is good meat, huh? I just got it in here. It's fresh. You just wait right there, sir. In a moment, you can try the best ground meat you've ever tasted.
Whoa, ground? Wait a minute, listen. I had something else in mind.
Zombies are no good. I can't serve my customers spoiled meat like that. I have a reputation to uphold. Trust me, I'm a butcher. I've got the best meat in town.
You're finished. It's over.
What about Isabella?
She's on our side now. She's checking out your computer right now.
My purpose in life has been to get revenge for what you people did to Santa Cabeza.
to my hometown. Why? Why was your meat so much more important to you than human life? Why? Why did my people have to die to feed your fat bellies?
That doesn't excuse what you've done. But I promise, the Santa Cabeza story will be told. But I need the password. Hey. Hey! Hey! Stay with me! Give me the computer's password!
Hey. Aren't zombies great? I mean, all they do is eat, and eat, and eat, growing in number. Just like you good red, white, and blue Americans. It's not over. Not yet.
Speak! Speak, damn it! What do you mean it's not over?
I'm sorry, Isabella. Give this to my sister.
Hey.
When Frank gave Isabella the necklace, it reminded her of her family, which gave her the idea to type Pachamama into the password prompt, and she had managed to gain access and disable the communication block.
Frank, the emergency line's been freed up. I'll give headquarters a call. Hang on.
DHS headquarters.
This is Agent Jessica McCartney. We have an emergency situation. Frank, it's over. HQ's decided to ignore us.
What? What do you mean, ignore us?
I contacted headquarters, but the government has decided to deny all knowledge of what happened here. Special forces will arrive for cleanup at midnight. They'll take everyone out. Zombies, people, everyone.
As during the events of Dead Rising, the military had been sweeping the area clean of the undead and the survivors, so no one could tell the story of what really happened in Willamette, just like Santa Cabeza all those years ago.
Jessica McCartney? Talk about your close calls. You contacted us just in time. Your boss thought we should have a talk with you before the operation begins. We'll be taking you into custody. If you sign an agreement to keep your mouth shut about all this, you'll be free to go.
Jesse?
Otis and the other survivors, however, managed to commandeer the helicopter at the helipad and make their escape, but not before leaving a note for Frank to find, where he hopes to one day meet Frank on the other side for a drink.
The military. They'll come, won't they? It's just like Santa Cabeza. The government wants to cover this up, too.
Eventually, after waiting out the storm, Frank and Isabella had done it. They had survived the outbreak, and Frank ran to the helipad to be presented with no one.
Well, I'll be damned. He's still alive. That son of a bitch made it. That must mean he got his scoop. I can't wait to get my share of the take. Woo! Yeah! All right. You just hang tight, buddy. I'm on my way. Huh?
Hey! 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 I'm over here!
I see you, buddy! I see you! Yeah! I'm on my way! Yeah! Yeah, you did it! You did it! Yeah! Yeah!
After bringing Frank back to the hideout, she had concluded that Frank must have been infected somehow, so she sent him to find parts all across the mall and to collect as many queens as possible so she could synthesize an antidote. The military, however, had sent teams back into the mall to rout out any survivors, to make sure dead men tell no tales. On his travels, however, Frank had found the crash site of Ed's helicopter, which opened up the clock tower to reveal a new way out of this nightmare. But there had been just one problem with that. The tunnels had been flooded with more zombies.
You're gonna inject me with that, huh? Okay, Doc. Let's get this over with. At least I won't have to worry about turning into one of them for a while. Okay. Next on the agenda. Figure out a way to get the hell out of here.
While I was isolating the hormone, I managed to identify a pheromone that suppresses the attack instinct in adult parasites. In other words, the zombies don't like the way it smells. If you give me a little more time, I should be able to produce some of this pheromone.
They think it smells bad? You think we could use something like that to keep them away from us? We could just walk right past them and get out of here.
In theory, yes. Either way, it's certainly better than nothing.
There was a cave. Outside, where the helicopter crashed. It was packed with zombies. I mean, shoulder to shoulder. But it may lead somewhere outside. If it works, your anti-zombie perfume, it could keep us safe in that cave. What do you say? I wouldn't be alive right now if your shot hadn't worked. The perfume's gonna work too. I know it.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
After traveling through the horde of undead, Frank and Isabella had managed to escape the guards and take control of a Humvee, but they soon were confronted by a tank. But even that wasn't enough, and Brock Mason had confronted Frank.
These automated machines are no use at all on the battlefield. Switch to manual control. Aim main cannon.
Oh, shit.
Well, what have we here? Where were you hiding when my men mopped up the mall? On a mission in which the number of targets is unclear, it's difficult to ensure absolute thoroughness. You have imagination. That's what drives you in your quest to run. Your quest to hide. as prey. You and your kind are much more stubborn than the zombies.
How much do you know about the zombies?
I commanded the Santa Cabeza cleanup operation. If we had fulfilled our mission then, we wouldn't be needed here now to take care of this incident.
That's all it was to you, huh? A mission. What about those innocent people who had to pay for sins committed by our government
Our
and its
mistakes
inhuman
have
research?
not begun with this operation.
Humanity has proven itself to be quite adept at making mistakes. Ha! Hell, it's the only thing we truly excel at. Well then, I'd say this mission isn't quite over yet. Don't you agree?
As Frank and Isabella had been separated by a river of the dead, Frank decided this wasn't going to be the end of him, so he finds a machine gun to which he is shot at the zombies and manages to clear a path to Isabella. As they move through the horde, the pair continue to fire their way out, and they eventually make it to the helicopter, and they make their escape. After 4 days in the midst of the Willamette outbreak, Isabella and Frank had finally managed to escape the clutches of the military and the horrific hordes of the undead. Unfortunately, their struggle wasn't over just yet, as after they had landed the helicopter, they had been approached by Agent Cornell, who had arrested Isabella as a terrorist co-conspirator. When Frank had objected to this, Cornell gives him a choice that he could just stand aside, or he could be arrested alongside her, where Frank had reluctantly decided to let her go to save himself, when Cornell had said to him that he could come out as a hero, twisting his arm. Although Isabella did remark back in Willamette that if you die, then the truth dies with you. In the aftermath of the incident, Frank managed to get the truth out about Santa Cabeza and Willamette. To save face, the government had accepted responsibility for Santa Cabeza, but the Willamette incident had been the cause of Carlito, so the government continued with the narrative of it being a terror attack. Because of the efforts of Frank West, he had been honored and covered by the daily press, calling him the man of the hour, with the president even shaking hands with him, which granted him a lot of fame. Overnight, Frank West had become a celebrity, VIP treatment, signing autographs. Frank would live like a king in this time. However, the world would soon forget all about Willamette and Santa Cabeza and the horrors of those days. But this wouldn't last for long. While Frank had gotten fame, fortune, and glory, Isabella had found herself in the employment of a newly established pharmaceutical company known as Phenotrans, where she would work with them to create the suppressant drug for the zombie infection known as Zombrex, which Frank was heavily dependent on. 3 weeks later, Frank had tried to expose the government and the Pentagon's involvement with the Willamette Incident, but he fails as he didn't have enough evidence to pin them to it, which had begun his decline. In the next year, 2007, one of Carlito's orphans had begun to turn into a zombie, as the suppressant over the year had become weaker and weaker, which the orphan had a tattoo with the number 5 on him, which kickstarted another outbreak, this time in the town of Smithville, with the outbreak originating on the college campus, with basketball practice turning into biology. The events of this outbreak are unclear, but it was clear to be the first outbreak since Willamette. Over this time, however, Frank's career and fandom begins to go downhill due to his past actions, and he resorts to doing less favorable work to keep the good life going for as long as he can, which included playing roles in commercials and hosting his own late-night talk show called Uncovered. With his fame and money dwindling and his need for Zombrex growing, Frank settles to live in a small apartment in Hubbard Gulch, in Nevada, where he is plagued by nightmares of his time in Willamette, and even dreams of being eaten alive by a zombified Isabella before waking up out of shock, clearly dealing with some unresolved PTSD, which he deals with by drinking more and more alcohol. During 2008, Frank overhears Rebecca Chang on the radio reporting the newest outbreak to occur in Coyote Springs. Intrigued by the report, he calls his agent to set up an interview with Rebecca, but all that is given back to him is the unfortunate news that his show ratings had dropped so low that the network is pulling it from the air for a more real show. Hurlington tells Frank that perhaps this is the time to go back to making commercials, which comes across as a betrayal, and they got into a heated argument that ends with Frank giving Hurlington the idea for a new show by blurting out, "Terror is reality, that's what." To which Hurlington called TK immediately after Frank hangs up to inform him of the new idea. After this, Frank decides to track down Rebecca himself and investigate these new outbreaks, and maybe get himself back into the spotlight. During this time, Chuck had been driving in his truck with his daughter Katie and his wife Pam as they came up to the northern lights of Las Vegas, where Chuck would compete in the upcoming event, Las Vegas 250, in the Las Vegas Arena. All the while, Pam had voiced her reluctance to travel there due to the recent reports of zombie outbreaks on the radio, but Chuck assures her they will be fine, since the outbreaks are at least 50 miles away from Las Vegas. He further adds that Rebecca's reports are also overblown, that she always focuses on government secrets. Chuck even brags to them that with the money he will win, their lives are about to change. Little did he know that he was correct about the change, but not for the right reasons. The military soon roped off the surrounding area around Coyote Springs and quarantined the town, and sent in a specialist team to sweep through and exterminate the infected population. During this operation, the team had found a huge cluster of zombies inside Bailey's casino, to which they called in an airstrike from a helicopter to level the building, which Rebecca soon saw a mushroom cloud off in the distance as her van was parked at the quarantine. Rebecca, being the resourceful news reporter she is, had convinced one of the guards to radio to his headquarters to request an interview with Captain John Kilduff. to which he wasn't too happy about her presence, so he met her only to belittle her, possibly trying to intimidate her into leaving, and even threatens to shoot down any news choppers that enters this airspace, which erupts into an argument between them, but soon gets interrupted by Frank, who had called Rebecca with a proposition to investigate the outbreak together. As they talk, a group of Cure protesters show up outside the blockade. Rebecca makes sure to remind Frank that they have met before in the aftermath of the Willamette Incident on KDED's morning news show. Eventually, Frank had won her over by citing his experience in Willamette, and they arrange to meet, as she tells Jamie to drive her to Fortune City. While this had been happening in a secret phenotrans facility to the west of Fortune City, Dr. Marion Mallon had been interrogating Dr. Kernow, who had been caught by Singh trying to leak documents to the press that would show their involvement with the recent outbreaks. Dr. Kernow expressed remorse for being involved with experimenting on those poor people and the harvesting of queens. Mallon expresses that if they don't cause more outbreaks, then it won't ensure the rising sales of more Zombrex. After forcing Dr. Kernow to apologize, she then orders Singh to snap his neck, to which he complied with the order. Back in Hubbard Gulch, Frank and Rebecca had met at Tony Longbean's dining house to discuss their plans over a cup of coffee. Rebecca talks to Frank about being stood up by a source before asking where Isabella Keyes had been during this time, where Frank told her what happened after escaping Willamette. Frank had been theorizing that the government had been causing the outbreaks while using the story of Carlito's orphans as a scapegoat, while Rebecca told him about her theory that phenotrans had been involved somehow. But Frank criticizes her as being a bit too conspirator. But Rebecca claimed that her source had been a high-ranking scientist in their employ. From this meeting, they both agreed to pool their resources to work on this story together. Later, a phenotrans convoy had been moving through the small town of Still Creek, who were being led by Singh, where they had been moving canisters full of queens, where they began to release the queens as they drove through the area, kickstarting a new outbreak. Back in Las Vegas, Pam had given Chuck a kiss for good luck as he leaves for the race. After telling Katie that she can swim in the pool after the show, little did they know there would be no chance for anything fun to come from this night. As Chuck travels through the halls, he can overhear the band Steigen Dreams playing on the stage. As the riders begin their final preparations and begin their starting lineup, the announcer has spoken on the $250,000 prize at stake in the 30-lap race. As this happens, Singh had emerged from the crowds with his men, each carrying canisters containing the wasps. Above the crowds in a private skybox, Clay Hurlington had been observing the race while talking on the phone with TK, who had been in a limo driving towards Las Vegas, where the driver had approached the outskirts of the city, where TK had been accompanied by Amber and Crystal Bailey. Clay, seeing the race, had told TK of his newest idea to add motorcycles to the new show, which TK enjoys the thought of. At this time, nearing up to the 20th lap, Singh and his men had departed from the arena without the canisters. After Pam had cheered out for Chuck, she soon felt herself being stung by something, which she thinks nothing of it, while the rest of the wasps had found their way to the crowds, which begins a new outbreak. As the crowd begin turning into zombies, Clay tells TK of the event, which TK orders the driver to get them out of Las Vegas immediately. But as Clay tried to leave the skybox, he is attacked by a zombie that rips his throat out with ease. Chuck, however, had been completely immersed in the race, completely unaware of the horrors occurring around him, to which he soon won the race, but his victory soon turned to terror as he saw the nightmare unfolding around him. During these events, Rebecca's boss had called her, telling her that the police scanners had been going crazy. She then told Frank, who had been driving back home, to meet her in Las Vegas. As Pam fought through the chaos with Katie, Chuck had spotted them, but is soon tackled by a zombified guitarist, which he dealt with the band by killing them with their own instruments. He then got back on his motorbike, running over the hordes in order to reach his wife and child, where Chuck had been relieved to find the pair completely fine. That is, until Katie says, "There's something wrong with Mummy," where Pam had transformed into a zombified version of her former self. Reluctantly, Chuck had stabbed Pam through the skull with a screwdriver before whisking Katie up onto his motorcycle and riding away from the area. Unfortunately, before he could save Katie, Pam had bitten her arm, infecting Katie. Eventually, Chuck and Katie arrived at his pickup truck, which they got into, and drove through the hordes of zombies, all the while trying to stop Katie from falling asleep as he barreled down the Vegas Strip. As soon as he saw a pharmacy, however, he smashed through the front window, where he grabbed the Zombrex to save his daughter's life, before saving her from another zombie attack. Just outside of Las Vegas, the military had shown up to blockade the city, to which Frank and Rebecca had noticed as they arrived, but Rebecca goes to talk to one of the guards like last time, and Frank had gotten a text alert. Back inside the outbreak, Chuck had administered the Zombrex to Katie and hugged her until the drug began to take effect. As Rebecca had been chatting with the guards, a familiar face had appeared from the shadows, who had been Captain John Kilduff, who began to shout verbal insults towards her in an effort to drive her away, but he then saw Frank West, where he told him that he and Brock Mason had served together, who had been unaware that Frank had even killed him, to which he responded by saying Brock hit like a girl, retaliating to the insults he gave to Rebecca, which began a shouting match between the two, until Rebecca broke the two up and pulled Frank away, where the captain vowed, "Someday, West, someday." Frank had then checked his text, with it telling him, "I know you are looking for answers, RE, Phenotrans, zombies, I can help, RE, secret Phenotran plans, experiments, more info soon, a friend." Going back to Chuck, he had wrapped Katie in his yellow jacket before seeing the truck had been swarmed by the undead, which Chuck had made a Molotov cocktail and threw it into the horde, giving them an opening, and as soon as they were able to get into the truck, he managed to escape Las Vegas and drive towards Still Creek, which had been 46 miles away from Las Vegas. Back inside the facility, Dr. Marion Mallon had been listening to the radio broadcast, hearing Rebecca Chang's voice coming through, which had been 12 hours since the outbreak had begun, where the death toll had reached 100,000 deaths. Additionally, it was estimated that 1 million people had been infected. Marion would remark to Singh that this is only the beginning, that this was to be the first major harvest. Rebecca's report continues as she talks about the perimeter of the quarantine extending out to 50 miles, where the military would shoot to kill on the main roads, bringing us into the events of Dead Rising, Case 0.
Chang, reporting live from just outside Las Vegas. It has been almost 12 hours since the first reports of a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. The death toll is estimated to be over 100,000, and as many as a staggering 1 million people may be infected. Does not spread, the military has set up a 50-mile perimeter outside Las Vegas. They have shoot-to-kill orders for anyone off the main roads. Military and government personnel are screening everyone at the roadblocks before allowing them to leave the quarantine area. leaving the city has trickled to a stop in the last few hours, an ominous sign that few survivors remain. Process for a period of 12 hours is being widely administered. Anyone discovered to be infected but not yet cured will be quarantined and reportedly given medical attention.
No, Daddy, no!
Nobody likes shots, honey. But it's very important that you get this.
Daddy, I don't like shots.
You won't have to take another one for a long time. A whole 12 hours.
Maybe we'll run out.
Sorry, sweetie. Daddy's got a few more.
Where they will be taken or what will become of them.
Hello? Anybody here? Katie, stay right here.
Daddy, there's a man over there.
We're okay now, honey. They can't get in. Katie, Daddy loves you so much.
But where are you going?
I have to go get some more Zombrex and figure out how to get us out of here.
But no, Daddy, I don't even like Zombrex.
I know, honey. But it's very important. You need another one before bedtime. You stay here. I promise I'll be back as soon as I can.
You're not afraid of those bad people outside?
Nothing's gonna stop me from keeping you safe.
As Katie and Chuck had been stranded in Still Creek, Chuck carefully made his way to a military outpost where all the soldiers had been slaughtered, but he is thankful once he finds not just the outbreaks that Katie needs, but the beginning of his next task, finding and repairing the parts of a motorbike so he and Katie can escape the military who had recently bombed Las Vegas earlier in the day. After Chuck had finished repairing the bike, he soon had been approached by a mechanic who had lost his mind and wanted to take Katie away for his private collection of the undead.
Well, all right, a little one. Perfect to complete my collection.
What the hell are you talking about? You stay away from her.
Zombies are good hunting, son. Kinda like shooting people, but without all the legal hassle. This outbreak's been a pile of fun. I never liked that fella next door, anywho.
Hey, whoa, listen. She's not a zombie. She's just a little girl.
Oh, I see you give her that shot. She's a zombie, all right. Come on now. Step aside and let old Jed finish the job.
Katie? Run!
There's no call for that now. You know it's just a matter of time. So I'm just doing you a favor. Better now than later. Come on out now, little one.
You're not gonna hurt her. Not over my dead body.
I done had enough of you, zombie lover. Get out of my way!
After defeating the mechanic, he soon falls victim to an occupational hazard. But just as Chuck and Katie were getting ready to leave the town for good, the military had been busy as the blockades had reached the town. But thanks to Chuck's skills, he and Katie had managed to escape the clutches of both the undead and the military forces. But in the early morning, they soon saw what became of the person who stole the truck. Over the next 3 years, the whereabouts of Frank had remained a mystery. However, Chuck and Katie had managed to shake the attention of the military, possibly hiding out somewhere before heading to Fortune City, where Chuck had gotten a new gig on the hit TV show Terror is Reality.
Honey, listen to me. We made it this far. I will not stop until you're safe. Nothing is more important than that. You understand? Let's get going.
On September the 11th, 2011, Chuck had been preparing for his next show, asking for Katie to be taken to the back rooms as he told her to wait for him there, completely unaware of the horrors that awaited for him after the show.
Hey, buddy. I heard you lost your wife in Vegas. I guess you suck at killing zombies, otherwise she'd still be around!
Save it for the show, shithead.
Zombies took our Willamette. They took our Las Vegas. But tonight, America, we're going to get a little payback.
It's time for America's most dangerous game show. It's time for Terror is Reality! And here's your host, Carol King!
Well, America, are you hungry for a little terror? Because tonight, we're gonna give it to you. I've been poking these zombies all week, and man, are they pissed. Our contestants are almost ready, so let's send them a little message. You gotta be willing to risk it all if you're ever really gonna. Alright, let's wipe them off and hose them down. Let me hear it, people, and show some love for our winner tonight. He's a hero. He's a survivor. He's Chuck Reed! He risked it all, and now he's taking home the big money!
I was hoping for a better ride from you, Chuck. But maybe you just don't know how to handle the tight curves.
We just getting started, people. The carnage is just beginning. So right now, let me hear you make some noise!
After the events of Terror is Reality, Sullivan had orchestrated an event that releases the zombies into the public space, and all hell breaks loose, forcing Chuck and Katie to take shelter. During these events, random survivors turn into looting gangs as they begin to steal goods from the stores and casinos. That is, until Chuck had intervened. Soon the news broke that Chuck had been cited as the one who released the zombies, so he goes to the hotel in order to find Rebecca Chang, who had been there on her own as her team fled the area.
You need to pay attention out here, buddy.
Thanks.
Rebecca Chang, Channel 6 Action News.
Chuck Green.
Are you serious? From the security video. I thought you'd be long gone by now. Since you're sticking around, care to answer a few questions?
I'm not your story lady. I didn't have anything to do with the outbreak.
Right, sure you didn't. And that tape showing you tampering with the cages was...
A fake. I had nothing to do with this. My daughter and I barely got out of there alive. I need to know where you got that tape from, and who your source is.
Reporters don't reveal their sources, Chuck. That's privileged information.
Privileged my ass. That wasn't me on the tape. I'm being set up.
Why should I believe you?
You don't have to. But you want the big story, right? Help me out and I'll give you an interview.
With the prime suspect. It has to be an exclusive.
Sure. Doesn't matter to me.
I can't tell you my source, but there is a central security room. There'll be footage of everything that happened there. I can show you where it is.
Well, that's a start at least. Aren't we gonna need your crew?
They ran off with all the equipment. I guess they just didn't want it bad enough. Here, let me try.
Don't bother. It's locked. You've got some interesting skills for a reporter.
No one ever got an award playing by the rules, Chuck. Wow, looks like somebody didn't like the show much.
Damn it! There's nothing here that we can use. Everything's been destroyed.
Chuck, check this out.
No zombie did that.
There might not be anything here to clear your name, but it definitely proves someone's covering up what really happened.
You believe me now?
Let's just say I'm intrigued.
Chuck, you need to get back to the bunker now.
What is it? What's wrong?
It's Sullivan. He saw you on the TV. You better get back here. He's threatening to kick Katie out.
I'm on my way.
Wait, who is that?
Stacy. Forsyth.
The leader of Cure?
I guess.
I'll meet you there. Oh, this just gets better and better.
After tracking down TK, Chuck had gone to find him in the underground, but after a chase, TK manages to lose Chuck, forcing him to find a new lead. Eventually, however, TK surfaces once again in stealing the money from the casino vaults, which Chuck manages to put an end to the widespread heists, where Rebecca had told Chuck that it was time to meet her source at the Yucatan bar, but what he found was more than what he was expecting.
Have a drink, Chuck. TK had a feeling you'd show up.
You're the source?
Can't have the man responsible for the outbreak running around free now, can we, Chuck? Especially as he keeps interfering with other people's business.
That's bullshit and you know it. TK set me up and you helped.
We're just some fellow survivors trying to win big, Chuck. But you wouldn't know much about that.
This outbreak is killing thousands. People are dying.
Bragging doesn't really suit you, Chuck. I always saw you more as the strong, silent type. The very, very
silent type.
After killing one of the Bailey twins, the other kills herself, much to Chuck's grief. But he now knew that TK was going to try and escape the outbreak, but Chuck wasn't going to let that happen.
Hey, whoa! Careful with the money, fool! We don't got much left.
Hey, look, boss!
Not possible. Not gonna happen. We're taking off. Now!
Well, that was a hell of a show.
He killed all those people. Just for this.
Is he alive?
He sure is. He's not even started paying for what he's done. Let's get him back to the safe house.
After capturing TK, Chuck brought him back to the safe house, much to Sullivan's dismay, as TK was the only thing tying him to the cause of the outbreak. Eventually, at first light on the 28th of September at 9 AM, the military arrive, sending in a cleanup squad.
Waste ammo! What the hell? Come on! Drop, you son of a bitch! Come on! Ah, my face! Oh God, it burns! It burns! Oh! Hold still, man! I'll shoot it off!
Can't see shit this far.
Chuck, however, jumps into action to find the cornered soldiers, where he finds Rebecca being held hostage by Sergeant Boykin. After this event, Chuck went back to the safe house to find TK awake, where he began to ask him questions, and TK was more than willing to provide the answers, which had startled Sullivan as the jig was nearly up. But then the safe house becomes compromised as the zombies gain entry to the safe house, but with the help of the saved survivors, Chuck was able to seal the doors and puts down the remaining zombies, but not before TK had gotten loose. This gives Chuck a desperate decision, either help TK or keep the Zombrex for Katie, where TK could back up Chuck's story if he is saved, but then again, he did set him up. As Chuck traveled deeper and deeper into the underground tunnels, he found a laboratory that emitted a loud noise that exploded the heads of the zombies, and the machine had been harvesting queens, ready to make more Zombrex. But then Chuck finds a laptop that belonged to Phenotrans, which he soon took back to the safe house.
It's Phenotrans. They're the ones behind everything.
Phenotrans? But they make Zombrex.
You two just calm down a minute here. This one's been feeding us claptrap since you all got here. Now look, we're all under a lot of stress. Seeing things out of the corners of our eyes, imaginary stuff.
There's nothing imaginary about this.
I don't understand. Why would they?
I'll tell you why. It's been a couple of years since the last outbreak. People aren't buying Zombrex like they used to. But now zombies are back, and even the military can't stop them. There are probably lineups at every pharmacy in the country, all for Zombrex. They're making a killing off this.
Okay, so listen to me. So, you're saying that Phenotrans killed all these people to drive up their goddamn stock price?
This is just crazy.
We have to get this information out. We have to take these bastards down. I found this down there too.
I'll call my station. They'll send help.
What the hell?
Looks like you finally got your story. Too bad you won't be getting that award, though.
You bastard. You're on their payroll.
Yeah. You were supposed to die in the outbreak, Chuck. All of you were supposed to die. But don't worry. The firebombing will fix all of that, so no one will find the bullets in your bodies. I didn't want it to go down this way. Although I have to say, I am gonna enjoy this.
I knew you were the bad guy!
Kids say the cutest things, don't they?
Chuck, you can't let him escape.
Don't worry. He's not making it out of here in one piece. So you're behind this. You killed all these people for money.
After everything that's happened, that's what you think? The money's secondary. We're trying to save lives here, Chuck.
Saving lives? What the hell are you talking about?
Come on! We had to take the necessary steps to ensure a consistent supply. We can't make the drug without queens, Chuck. A lot of queens. You can thank Isabella for that.
and TK looting the city, but that's not about money?
He went off the rails. He was well paid for his part. Then he just got greedy. His work, not ours.
Whatever happened to do no harm, Sullivan?
Open your eyes, Chuck. Do you have any idea how many people are affected in this country? Doctors, politicians, CEOs. Some of our country's best are infected. Even your little girl, Chuck. What would happen to your cute little time bomb if she didn't get her drug? Fortune City was a small price to pay to ensure our country's way of life.
You murdered these people!
Acceptable losses. This wasn't the first time, and it won't be the last.
You bastard! You did it! You caused the Vegas outbreak too, didn't you? You killed my wife, destroyed my family!
Everything that we have done has been absolutely necessary! We're the good guys, Chuck. Not you.
Channel 6 Action News. This is Chuck Green. You want the scoop of a lifetime? There's a bunker full of survivors in Fortune City. And I've got the proof of what happened here. I need rescue choppers, and I need them right now. It's over. We're going home. Wait, Katie's backpack. It's not here.
Can't you just leave it?
It has all her mother's things in it. I'll be right back. It'll only take a second.
did like that damn show.
You look familiar. Hey, you must be...
Hey, you're the one who's all over the TV. They're saying you caused all this.
That's bullshit. Phenotrans set me up.
You know, they're vigilantes out for your head. You're commanding a nice bounty.
Is that why you came? Huh?
Well, maybe I don't exactly believe everything I see on TV.
Phenotrans are the ones who killed thousands in Fortune City, thousands in Vegas. They're the ones who killed my wife. And they're the ones who killed Rebecca.
Rebecca? Rebecca Chang? She's dead?
I'm sorry. A Phenotrans agent shot her. Look, I need proof, damn it. I've got to clear my name.
You don't have time for that. They're gonna blow this place to hell any second.
Then I'm screwed.
Look, I got an idea. I have a source that's told me about some sort of Phenotrans facility west of here.
What kind of facility?
I don't know. I was gonna find out with Rebecca. You might be able to find your evidence there. Might be a connection to what happened here. You can come. But if I find out you had something to do with this...
Look, buddy, I didn't do it, all right? What are you looking for, a big story? Some way to get yourself back in the limelight?
Oh, yeah? Is that what you think? There's a hell of a lot more to it than that. And the name's Frank. Frank West.
As the time ticked by, with each moment drawing them nearer and closer to their eventual destruction, Chuck and Frank had made their way out of the safe house and into the outskirts of the city, where they witnessed the firebombing of Fortune City.
Shit. A dead end. Nice investigative work, Frank.
Just drop it, Chuck.
Get your ass out of my face.
Back up.
You're too close.
I said drop it.
Consider it dropped.
Well, at least it was a soft landing.
What the? That way, through the back.
After escaping the holding pens, Frank and Chuck managed to subdue the guards in a nearby security office. However, they soon saw that all the holding pens for the zombies had been unlocked and had caused a new outbreak inside the facility, which would give them the chance they needed to uncover the truth while the guards were busy with the zombies.
Record of missing persons reports. This is a list of prisoners, Chuck. What the hell?
Blueprints of Fortune City's underground, a harvest projection. I saw it all back in Fortune City. They need queens to make zombrex.
But Phenotrans has been telling the world that drug is synthetic, made in a lab, not from queens anymore.
That's a lie, Frank. Don't you get it? It's still made from queens, from zombies.
And if you run out of zombies, you just make more.
And sometimes you run out of prisoners. Or the homeless.
Or missing people.
Attention, all security personnel. Breach in the director's office. All available personnel, respond immediately. You are directed to use lethal force.
Soon Frank's source had gotten the evidence they needed to prove their story about Phenotrans being responsible for the outbreaks, but they came up to a problem where the source had been trapped and couldn't hack the doors and needed Frank and Chuck to help them. After freeing the source, Frank and Chuck rushed to meet them, where the source turned out to be Isabella, who had been forced to work for Phenotrans. Otherwise, she would end up in prison for her part in the Willamette outbreak.
Isabella!
Cutie!
Take it! The world must know!
Bring her to me. I still have use for her.
You look like you could use a little Zombrex every day yourself, lady. Why would you do this?
You can't think I need Zombrex anymore. I made something to remedy that years ago, with Isabella's very helpful notes.
A cure? You've had a cure all this time?
Of course. It wouldn't have been in our interests to release it. Besides, none of you are worthy. Not really. It's human greed and apathy that brought zombies into being. The human race deserves the zombie apocalypse. And now look at you. You destroy the very company that brings you the medicine to heal your loved ones. There will need to be another harvest now. You reap what you sow.
Attention all personnel. Self-destruct.
We've got to find it. The cure, it's got to be in here somewhere.
We've got to get out of here, Chuck.
No, we can't leave. I need to find that cure for my daughter.
It's too late. We gotta go. Now!
A cure. Can you imagine the difference that would have made to the whole world?
That might have been a lie, Chuck.
I need to believe that there's a cure out there.
Well, at least we have the evidence they were behind the Fortune City outbreak.
Nobody is gonna take our word for what was going on in that place.
My Zombrex, I left it back in the...
Take it. The world needs Frank West.
Even without the evidence to implicate Phenotrans as the ones who really started the outbreak, Chuck was able to clear his name with some of the evidence he was able to collect, and the authorities had cleared him of any wrongdoing, and the blame was pinned on TK. Despite what Isabella had told Frank, she actually had been working with Phenotrans voluntarily, as she needed their resources in finding the orphan who held the cure to the zombification process. Over the years, Chuck had found Katie and Stacy, where he had begun a relationship with Stacy, but the relationship had ended later in the timeline, which caused an uproar between him and Katie. Katie had seen how her need for Zombrex had its effects on her father, and she felt she had been a burden on him, so she had ran away from home. However, Frank had taken his talents towards education, where he began teaching journalism in a class. Over the last 10 years, Zombrex had begun to lose its effects on the human body, which had begun new outbreaks across America. However, Phenotrans had invented a new way to disperse Zombrex over a longer period of time with the use of microchips, which would be placed under the skin of an infected individual, so someone could be given a dose each and every day without the need for constant injections, along with a GPS tracker being installed, so if someone were to turn, the military could find them with ease. These doses, however, would be higher than the original ones, since the prior outbreaks had been due to the doses not working properly. Isabella had a meeting with Marion about finding the orphans and to test them in order to find the one who had the cure to the zombie virus coursing through their veins. However, would the ends justify the means?
You're insane. Starting an outbreak to find the immune one? It makes no sense. It will kill thousands, including the orphan. No.
It's the only way, Marion. I know he's out there somewhere. Those lives are inconsequential compared to the cure. That's why I've continued to work with you. That's why I've stayed here voluntarily to find a cure. In an outbreak, the orphan will realize his immunity and come forward, and your friend Hemlock might find that convenient as well.
Oh, you're jealous of my work. You always have been. You're so desperate to find your mark.
You think you walk again? You think you'll be cured?
Shut up! You're lucky I didn't take your legs as well. If they hadn't stopped me...
I will be the one who goes down in history as the creator of the cure. Me and me alone, not you. I don't care what I have to do to find it.
Why are you doing this? Is it for the money?
I don't give a shit about the money. I'm going to make up for what my brother did and restore the good name of our family. Be a hero for once and for all time. Not that Frank West, not this Chuck Green. He left me to die once. They will all pale in my shadow. And I will find a cure.
And no one will know you're a mass murderer. Interesting. I think I might finally be starting to like you.
Phenotrans had then begun a new outbreak on the 23rd of March 2021 by deactivating the chips with radiation, causing zombification to occur. However, in doing so, the zombie strain had begun to mutate. This then causes the population of zombies to jump from 1 to 500 in the course of 6 hours. After the news breaks out in the city of Los Perdidos, the military had shown up to begin the cleanup operation by quarantining the city and blocking off the main roads of the city. However, they did set up at least one checkpoint to ease in the search for survivors, which was soon televised for the civilians to see. Unfortunately, the president had been present in the city during the time of the outbreak, and the military squads that had been assigned to her had either been killed by the zombies or had fled, with one of these being Diego, who had been one of Carlito's orphans. Phenotrans at this time had been in league with the military being led by Marion Malone. However, the survivors begin to fight back against the soldiers who had been hunting survivors rather than saving them. During these events, a mechanic known as Nick Ramos had banded together with other survivors, including Katie, who now goes by the name of Annie, all seeking a way out of the city before the firebombing occurs. However, in his efforts to find a way out of the city, Nick discovers the handiwork of the military unknown to him that a jumbo jet was about to fall out of the sky, which just after escaping the blocked tunnel, Nick finds himself in the most disturbing of company to be had.
It's no lie.
After finding his way back to the diner, the zombies become aware of them hiding inside, and Annie runs out after having an argument with the others. After fighting the zombies and losing 2 of their group, Nick and the others manage to fight a garage to hide out in, but soon Nick finds a radio where he gets into contact with another survivor. After Rhonda manages to fix the TV, they soon find out that the military had been looking for survivors before they would level the city with a massive incendiary bomb. Unfortunately, once they arrive at the evacuation checkpoint, the group finds that the soldiers had been slaughtered by a gang, where they kidnapped Rhonda, and the boss reveals himself to Nick, where a battle for survival had begun. After the battle, Nick, with the help of Rhonda, shrugs off killing the gang leader, as it was a do or die situation. Now they were assured that if they were going to escape before the bomb hits, then it would have to be on their own terms, rather than to put their trust in the military. After leaving the checkpoint, Nick happens to be reunited with one of his friends, Diego.
That's why I wanted to find you, man. You can fix things, right? You can fix the plane, right?
What is this about a plane?
This collector guy donated an old military plane to the museum. My unit was supposed to get it ready. Think it can fly. It just needs some repairs and some gas or something. I got the key. Right here.
Oh, shit. It was real nice knowing you, pal. Shit. Nick. Honey, you need to get Sombrex right away, or you're gonna turn in the next few hours. I'll go with your friend to this plane.
Look, it's the shipping warehouse right by the docks, man. You can't miss it.
Sombrex? Where am I gonna find that? Ingleton is your best bet. There's a crematorium there. Morgues keep emergency backup of Sombrex.
They locked all the gates off because of the dead people inside. You're gonna have to go through the sewers.
Find it. Get to that crematorium.
On his travels to the crematorium, Nick happens to meet Gary Finkel, who helps him in getting into the morgue. What Nick didn't know, however, was Gary was looking for Annie, aka Katie, as he was working with Chuck to find her and to get her out of the city. Unfortunately, when they get inside the morgue, Nick finds out that there wasn't any Zombrex left.
I guess just gonna wait for the inevitable.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. I'm sorry. Hey, do you want me to off you? So you don't gotta suffer.
Just hurry.
All right, okay, I'm hurrying. Coming right up.
Oh my God.
I think the safeties are on.
Can I see the gun? Let me see the gun.
By the way, you're welcome.
You just do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm not the best shot. Give me a moment. Oh. Shit. That was my last bullet. Wait a minute. Look at your wound. It's healing itself. I ain't never seen anything like that before. What kind of freak are you?
I guess I don't know what kind of freak I am.
I guess you don't need no Zombrex either. Huh. Well, it worked out okay, you know. I mean, I didn't really want to shoot you. You seemed like an okay guy.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go. Don't help me, whatever.
In the race against time, Nick makes a desperate decision when it turns out that the girl he dropped off was the wrong one, as Chuck made it clear to Gary that he is to find Katie before the bomb is dropped. So Nick rushes back to his friends to find out where Annie could be, as Gary had said that his boss would be willing to give him anything that he requires. In his search for Annie, Nick finds the resistance, and that if he sabotages the military's efforts, then they would help him get the fuel for the plane. After returning to Annie, Nick volunteers for a new task, which had been to find a flash drive at the police station. Unfortunately, obtaining the flash drive would prove to be a more difficult task than previously thought of.
The information from the cameras. You have it? All of it? Give it to me. I want to put it somewhere safe. The last thing we need is evidence of our rescue.
Please! Someone!
Stop!
Please help me. My wife.
Is there anyone else with you?
No. She's hurt.
Oh. Lock this place down.
Please. No! She wasn't dead. Oh, no. What have you done?
They don't call it the little death for nothing.
No! Wait! You murdered these people.
Observant one, isn't he? Oh, adorable. I do so love a hero wannabe. Let's see if he stands up to the test or limps out at the end.
Get in here, boys! Let's make this a gangbang! Size doesn't matter! Big boy! That's not fair. I finished first.
It's just me.
She was there when we got here.
You still think the government came in here to save us, Nick? I've seen it with my own eyes. The woman from the TV, Hemlock's head of security, she's killing survivors. Why are they doing this?
At least justice will be served when that gets out and people see what happened here.
Justice? Justice isn't going to bring Angel back. It's not going to bring any of us back. Sometimes I don't even know why we bother fighting.
That's why. Look at her, Red. She was one of the family. We don't stop fighting if it's for family.
Hey, I'm sorry for the attitude earlier. It's just really hard to know who you can trust. I'm gonna go meet with my contacts. I'm gonna get that fuel for you. But I need you to do me a favor. Meet me at the tower in a couple of hours, okay? And I'll hook you up with the fuel, and then we'll all get out of this hellhole together. All right? Come on. Catch you later, bro.
After returning to Annie at the tower, he finds that Gary had ambushed him and attempts to kidnap Annie, but the military takes them into custody.
Trusted you, asshole!
Oh, calm down, lady. It's not his fault. I figured you didn't have the balls to follow through, so I followed you. Now, you're the broad my boss is looking for. You're coming with me. Keep moving! Keep moving! Hey! Keep moving! Leave the rest! Hey! Relax! What happened here? Where are they? Special Ops raid. You any idea where they might be? They've been working on a makeshift prison camp for the past couple of days, man. Over in the old taxi dispatch yard in Ingleton. That must be where they are. Did you get the fuel? Family first, Nick. Dang, we gotta go. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna go get back up. There's an old used car lot across the street from the prison camp. Meet me on the office rooftop. We'll devise a plan there. Ma'am.
You cannot proceed with the destruction of the city while I'm still searching for him. I want my full 6 days, as you promised.
It was never the primary purpose of this operation.
As your commander-in-chief, I order you to release me.
It's wonderful news that we found you, Madam President. Because you see, we really needed a body. Get her to eat someone low-ranking, get it on film, and get it to the media right away. And then shoot her head right off. Mission accomplished.
No. I want this Diego. Prison at the museum with the rest of his unit. We must find him.
I've allowed you to pursue this fantasy because I enjoy indulging you, Marion.
Deactivating the chips won't be so easy next time. Something about the radiation we've used to turn the chips off. It's changing them.
This could be a blessing in disguise. I told my men to bring some of the mutations back for study. The substance they ooze, this royal jelly or whatever it is, it could be the key to a new weapon.
Imbecile! Don't lose focus! Search the illegals in the quarantine tents, and if you cannot find this Diego, kill them like the infectious vermin they are.
Your wish is my pleasure.
Annie! Nick! I'm so glad you're here.
Let's get out of here. Hey, come on, buddy. Give me.
Leave that bastard. He'll only cause us trouble.
I can't do that, Annie. Don't worry. I'm gonna take you.
Hurry.
You know, for a little prick you hate so bad. Do not call me that again, Gary.
Run! Get to the man! I'll cover you!
Follow me!
To the gun! Go! Get out of here! Hey, get back here! I'm not done with you!
I ought to punch your lights out. I guess I owe you one. Back to work. Come on. Wait. I gotta get the plane fueled up. And I gotta warn my friend. They're looking for him. Oh, I don't think your friend's the only one they're looking for. What the hell? Why? I don't know, man. You need to come clean with me. What's this all about? I swear, Red, I have no idea. Extremely dangerous, my ass.
Should we meet at the plane? It's at the shipping warehouse down at the docks.
I'm gonna go look for Annie and the others. Let's meet up at the karaoke bar in Sunset Hills later, okay?
Where's the fuel?
It's at Central Storage down on the freeway, under the bridge. Parked just inside. You can't miss it.
After bringing the fuel back to the plane, Nick decides to find Diego, as Phenotrans had been after him, which makes Nick worry about him. But when Nick finds Diego, he falls into a state of irrational behavior and turns on Nick. After knocking some sense into Diego, he shows Nick a startling discovery.
Look at this. Huh? You see this? This really scares the crap out of me, man.
This zombie is reported to have begun the Smithville outbreak in 2007, the first outbreak to occur after Willamette.
Now look at his neck. No, holy crap, man! No, what does that mean, man?
I don't know, right? What the hell?
Oh, shit. Okay, look, we need to focus on the problems that we can solve first, okay? Let's get the hell out of town and then we'll figure out what's going on. You still have that key, right?
Oh, shit! Those gang dudes mugged me on the way here. I was so out of it. They took the plane key. Nick, we gotta get it back.
What is it, bro? Nothing, man. Nothing. It's all good. Let's just go find those keys now.
After fixing the plane up, Rhonda decides she needs to go and look for her ex with regret of how things ended between them on her mind, where Nick reluctantly decides to let her go. But after he and the others leave to get Annie and her companions from the karaoke bar, disaster strikes.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Orphans? How did she know that?
What's going on? What are you doing?
Hey!
Oh, God!
Hey!
Punch him up. Punch him.
Activate the pathetic one first. We'll see if he's the right one or not.
Activate! Activate what?
Begin the test immediately.
Hey! Get away from him!
Compromised. Repeat, the lab has been compromised.
No! 12! Number 12!
No,
I know who you are.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Isabella Keys.
You?
I waited for you for so long.
You started the outbreak of Willamette! You killed my friend Diego!
I am no terrorist. The world has been lied to about me for so long. I will change that with you.
What are you talking about?
There's no time to explain, but you must know you will not meet the same fate as your friend. They will not live inside of you. The worms, they cannot.
What else do you know? You need to tell me. Now.
Come, I'll explain everything we were saying. Please trust me.
Stop!
Quickly! No!
You're not going anywhere.
I won't leave you here. It's too important.
Go to the warehouse at the port. Get the plane. We're gonna get out.
I will meet you there, and then I will tell you everything.
If I can't have you alive, I'll settle for whatever I can scrape off the walls. I will get you dead or alive, 12. I promise you.
Marion, you fool.
After escaping Marion, Nick finds the karaoke bar where he also finds Gary barring his passage, unless he finds a way to get him to step aside, where it is revealed he was Rhonda's ex all along. So Nick goes to find Rhonda, who had been tortured by the military in order to find out the whereabouts of him, where they had amputated her arm and left her to die. But Nick manages to save her and to fix up a flamethrower attachment to replace her arm, where he takes her to the karaoke bar. After returning to the plane with Annie by his side, Isabella and Red meet them there, but everyone else had been missing, so Red goes to check one last location to try and find them, where Isabella reveals the truth, that Nick had been Carlito's contingency plan all along, as a way to cure the zombie outbreak.
Annie, this is a trap!
Nick! That is a nice tattoo, number 12.
What are you doing?
Woo, do you know what it means? $5 million for Red.
You sure gave up on your family fast!
Come on, Nick. I told you, I'm a realist. I'm tired of living like a pariah. And
when I saw that flyer, I realized that was the closest to $5 million that I ever was gonna get. So guess what? I got your friends. You are my $5 million. So let's make an exchange.
I'm gonna kill you with my bare fucking hands, you son of a bitch!
I like to see you.
Nick, are you okay?
Yeah, go find a way to get out of here. Go!
You're coming with me.
One of the family, huh?
No, family of one, Nick, just like you.
No. Nothing like me.
What happened to you, Red? Everybody got some shit. Everybody gets shit. I wanted it to be my time.
We're right about one thing. What? It is your time.
Nick!
Annie, are you okay?
Yeah. That's Hemlock's voice.
Speak up, man. I can barely understand you. Have you recovered the orphan?
Negative, sir. We have him cornered. Requesting additional time to mop things up.
Very well. I'll grant another day. Malin will be happy to have more time. Our work here is not yet complete regardless.
Mine isn't either.
Katie!
Oh my god. Dad?
Honey, please. I'm sorry.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Katie Ann Green, where have you been? I lost my mind when you ran away.
Shit, that's real cute, ain't it? I love a happy ending.
Dad, I'm sorry. I saw what it was doing to you. The pressure to keep me unregistered and to find Zombricks all the time. It wrecks people, that drug. I didn't want to burden you anymore.
You've never been a burden to me, honey. It's not your fault what happened to me. I'm the one who's the burden. I'm not proud of what I've done. I've been looking for you for so long.
You're the man Gary works for. I'm not letting Annie go with some thug. I don't give a shit if she is your daughter. She's not your property.
I've been looking for my daughter for 2 years. And now there's a zombie outbreak like the one that killed her mother. You don't know what that's like. Who the hell is this?
Nick Ramos. Who are you?
Chuck Green.
Okay, it's okay. Dad, I mean, how did you find me?
I found Gary. He overheard where you were going. I wanted to kill him for letting you go. But I never seen the fat bastard so happy.
It's been a long time, Chuck Green.
Isabella Keys, what the hell are you doing here? Your face.
Dr. Malin was always envious of me. At least I can still walk. It is imperative that we get this man to a safe place immediately.
What, that little pipsqueak?
You're kidding me, right?
He contains within his body the cure, the antidote to the parasite. Come, we must get to this plane. We don't have much time.
Let's do this.
As Nick was about to take off, he overheard Hemlock on the radio talking about a weapon of mass destruction, and it is revealed by Isabella that they need to collect the substance the king zombies give off, as it would be powerful in their hands if they could synthesize it. So Nick and Chuck decide to put an end to those plans before Hemlock can succeed.
Oh my god. Her.
We are wasting time. The orphan, he's still out there.
Marion, don't you understand? We'll create outbreaks anywhere we want to. We can control where it goes. And when we're done, we'll kill the kings. It'll wipe out the population but leave all the infrastructure. It'll be like the neutron bomb I always dreamed of.
It is nothing without the cure.
No, this cure thing is bullshit. It's a goddamn myth, Marion. Bitch and her brother made it all up to taunt you. Don't throw our lives away on this.
Oh, don't be so pathetic. And you're so weak, you make me sick.
That would have been good to you, Marion. It's not like any other man would have you. You got a job to do, man. Now let's do it. Those drones are collecting the zombies. We gotta stop them.
After taking care of the drones, Nick had taken one up to the aircraft, where he was able to bring it back down to the ground by knocking out the pilot in his struggle with Hemlock, and the arena was set for the final showdown, where Nick managed to use the propeller to his advantage in giving the final blow to Hemlock.
Cure for this. Fuck you.
During these events, Isabella had gone back to the lab to destroy a recording of her meeting with Marion about finding the cure and beginning the outbreak. Eventually, the group met back at the plane and had managed to escape before the bomb had gone off. Now we come to September 2021, where one of Frank's students, Vicky, had asked for his help with a case that would take him back to Willamette on the outskirts, as there had been military activity there. However, they soon found that Obscurus had been conducting research on zombies, but they soon become discovered and are forced to flee the area, which labels Frank as a fugitive. However, he manages to evade arrest for quite a while. Soon after this, Obscurus soldiers had been tasked with heading down beneath Willamette into Dr. Barnaby's lab, where Calder was tasked with finding Barnaby's logs and his research files. But what they found would begin a new outbreak, which would be one for the ages.
The body was cremated at 1500 hours. My 7th failure. September 19th, 2006. Dr. Russell Barnaby. This is likely my final progress report. There's been an outbreak in the Willamette Mall. I didn't cause it. I don't know who did it. I don't even know how it's possible. Containment leak, maybe? I don't know. The experiment remains incomplete. Conservatively, it needs another 50 years research. All the data is there, uploaded into my primary storage.
That's what we're talking about. Let's get it.
Perhaps some smart young scientist can make use of it.
Downloading.
The treatment itself remains locked at 62% effectiveness. It represents the pure truth of my creation.
Oh, there?
On death, they call it. The world has known no greater irony. Take away the decay, the bestial wrath, the failure of the mind. Ask yourself, what remains? A zombie is just a man who never tires, never sickens, never ages. Indeed, zombies are the key to human immortality. And yet, since the livestock angle didn't pan out, these Pentagon idiots remain fixated on weaponizing the plague. Proof of that, I, too, have put in a safe place. Well, I've been summoned by an unknown agent, likely to my death. The voice was familiar, perhaps an employee or a citizen of Santa Cabeza. If so, I must go prepared. If anyone survived that incident, And if they know my name and contact information, it's likely they blame me for what happened. Additionally, the infected population grows apace. If I was a sane man, I would stay below. But I must confess to an irrational desire to witness my handiwork. Should I become infected, I must return here and use the test chamber. A last-ditch effort to save myself from the plague I created. So then, farewell. Let it be known that I fought to my last to protect life. And yet, in so doing, caused untold death.
What the hell's going on? Hands! Get out of there! Move it! Move!
After the town fell, Frank's student Vic had gone to Willamette to investigate the source of the zombie infestation, and the military soon quarantined the town once again, with the orders coming directly from the Pentagon, and they would see how the infection strain had mutated again, making the zombies more aggressive and much smarter than before. Obscurus would build a base of operations within the town, but would come under attack from the survivors who built their own factions. The lieutenant in charge had been hunting a new type of zombie, however, one that could prove to be the very undoing of humanity if given the chance. However, their efforts at this time would prove unfruitful. These battles with the survivors and the hordes of shambling bodies had continued for a grueling 6 weeks. Which brings us to January 2022, where a CDC agent, Brad Park, had found Frank and gives him a way to clear his name, much like an old associate of his had to do.
Frank West? Am I under arrest?
Possibly.
Leaning towards yes?
That depends.
On?
How well you work with others.
Oh, well, shit, that's never been my strong suit. Just kind of stuffy in here, don't you think? A little fresh air, you know? I really thought that would work. All right, well, it seems I have some time on my hands. What do you want to talk about? I know who you are. Colonel Brad Park, commander of the ZDC. I'm up on my zombie news, thank you very much.
Of course you are. Well, then you also know that the ZDC's mandate is to respond to zombies on U.S. soil.
Yes, and confine and silence anybody who knows the truth. Well, I'll up on it, thank you.
It's happening again in Willamette.
What is?
An outbreak.
I didn't see anything on the news. How long has it been going on?
Going on 6 weeks now.
Really? It's a long time to silence an entire town.
Not for them.
Who?
The Pentagon.
Oh, shit.
What did you see there?
You know what I saw.
Nobody knows, Frank. The only reason I found out is because somebody screwed up and passed me a top-level report. This reservist training center, I have yet to see anyone who's actually stationed there. All communications in and out of the town are gone. Now the satellite photos have been updated in 4 months. It is being covered up. But all that pales in comparison to the mystery of why you, Frank West, are teaching a goddamn night class instead of being 2 steps ahead of me on this.
I quit.
You quit?
Yes, I quit. Do you know how many outbreaks I've been part of? How many I've covered? And what thanks have I gotten? Huh? Nothing. No thank yous, no flowers, just a contact book filled with dead people.
National Headliner Award 2006. You exposed the first zombie outbreak on U.S. soil. Photographed the whole thing. You got some medals, a few letters behind your name. Honorary, of course.
Yeah, but let's get to the point. 3 weeks later, I tried to expose the Pentagon and the entire U.S. government for their involvement with it, and they buried me!
Because you didn't have sufficient evidence. You come with me to Willamette. We expose this bullshit. And you do it right this time. Frank, there's a lot more at stake here than just one town.
No. I'm out.
Whoever breaks this, they're in for some big gains. Maybe even win back something. But actually, I'm surprised that you'd let an amateur rip this up from under you.
What the hell are you talking about?
This is one of your students, isn't it?
Ooh. I think you...
Whoops.
Vic.
As they come up to the center of Willamette, their helicopter becomes forced down as they are hit by an RPG, which caused Frank and Brad to crash into the Willamette megaplex, where Frank finds out Vicky had been way ahead of him in her research for the truth behind the outbreak. Frank soon discovers that there are 2 forces at play in this outbreak. After working with the survivors, Frank had managed to find Vic, with her working with Obscurus to uncover the truth by giving them information, where he also finds out that Obscurus had been hunting something that also had been returning the hunt to them, stringing their bodies up as it hunted them, almost like it had been recruiting them for an unholy cause. But he soon found that Obscurus had taken down Calder and put him in the back of a truck. But after the convoy had been attacked, Calder manages to escape into the underground. Vic at this time had tracked down Blackburn to get some information out of her, but does it against her will by holding her prisoner, to which Frank soon intervenes.
You gotta get me out of here, don't move!
Easy, easy.
Frank?
Vic?
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? Well, I am definitely not conspiring with a paramilitary group. Not doing that, Vic.
It's not what I'm doing.
And I'm not torturing a woman for a quote while a bunch of trigger-happy jarheads guard the door. I'm not doing that either.
That's not what I'm doing.
Shut up!
It's not what I'm doing.
What are you doing? Because I'm having a hard time seeing it.
I am trying to figure out who these soldiers are working for, how the outbreak began, and what these assholes did.
You sold out Hammond and her people. They almost got killed. Do you know that? Are you aware of that?
The commander issued a no-kill order, and then Tom's people attacked first.
And you believe that? How fucking naive are you?
Hello?
Shut it! No, I know what this is about. You're trying to get the big story, right? The big scoop.
This is what this is all about for you, isn't it? Just take what you want and cash the check.
Get out of here, rookie.
Poacher. That's all you'll ever be.
After this event, Blackburn tells Frank about Dr. Barnaby's lab, to which he investigates in order to solve what he had been doing there. Unfortunately, the files had been wiped, and the only copy had been located on Calder's hard drive on his arm. But as he continued to go through the lab, he comes across the treatment device, and Frank accidentally activates it with him inside, which would give him the same treatment as Calder. Later, Frank breaks into Obscurus's base to find the recon footage, where he soon finds out who or what Calder is. However, Commander Fontana soon shows up to put an end to Frank's investigation, where the mission had changed from researching immortality to training and domesticating the zombies. However, the hunt for Calder would have to wait, as Hammond had been captured by Tom, who planned to behead her before Frank had stepped in to put an end to his reign.
Kylie Jade Hammond.
Tom, no!
For conspiring against your lord, look at me, and commandeering his rightful possessions, and plotting his death!
You think you're a leader? You're just a lunatic!
You are hereby sentenced to a beheading, in accordance with the laws...
Nut job!
Set down by me! Bitch!
Hey! Over here!
Traitor! Wait, Kylie, wait! Just a second, I was just trying to protect you. You're all my people. You needed my protection.
You call that protection?
You don't understand. Look, a father, he has to make choices for his children. Sometimes...
Nice. Fist bump. Seriously, come on. What, you know? Come on, everybody does it!
Eventually, Frank manages to track down Calder, where Brad tells him that he has called in evac choppers for when he returns from the bottom of the sewers.
Rat into fox, fox into wolf. On and on and on. The great unmaking of the chain.
Oh, this is new.
Where then goes the man? He stays, lives, kills, burns, poisons the sea, tears down the sky. Old age may soon claim him, but soon, even that, he will defeat. We are made of killers. His hands took as men. But now... No. We give back.
Hey, Caesar! Oh, shit, he's mad. Yeah, I know, big fella.
Unfortunately, Vic had ambushed Frank after this, forcing him to give up the evidence for his story, and she even destroyed Calder's hard drive. But Calder had caught up to Vic as she ran into the Willamette megaplex.
Hey! Remember me? I just told we could talk about this.
You hide behind glass. Take all you see. Claim this, take that. Make it all yours. Give nothing back.
All right. A bit heavy, but I agree. I could do better. Tomorrow morning. Give me the camera back. I'm a new man tomorrow, I promise.
You are part of the chain, Frank West. And I must break the chain.
No. You kidding me? God, I hate you. Okay. You know what? You hurt my student. Took my story. And now you've blown up my favorite camera. So be it. Frank West was the zombie lord. Let's roll, weirdo.
Nothing will take the man. The chain remains.
After defeating Calder, Frank and Vic have a heart-to-heart where she tells him that she was able to save the SD card to Frank's camera, and they decide to finally work together on the story. However, as soon as their ride comes in to pick them up, the zombies on the roof manage to board the helicopter and down it, forcing a replacement to come in. All the while, the smarter zombies begin to assault them, and eventually they had caught up to them as they boarded the second helicopter and grabbed a hold of Frank.
Keep your eye on the prize.
During these events, the Pentagon becomes aware that Obscurus has failed in their task and decides to send an airstrike to level Willamette to end the outbreak. After rising from the dead, Frank had torn through the military soldiers. However, Hammond finds him and shoots zombie Frank, but Blackburn had taken him down and took him to a secure location to study him. While Frank had been out cold, Blackburn had been giving him some treatments that had eliminated some of his zombie attributes, allowing him to regain some of his consciousness, awareness of his surroundings, and the ability to speak. But now the other zombies treat Frank just like another survivor and not one of their fellow zombies. But he still looked like a zombie, so people will treat him as such. Blackburn tells zombie Frank that she thinks that she can cure him, but she needs him to do some stuff for her. During his travels, Blackburn directs Frank to a group of wasps and tells him to absorb them into himself, which he soon does so, which makes him slightly more powerful. However, the military soon show up and try to put an end to him. Blackburn soon tells Frank that he needs to gather the immature queens to take them to Barnaby's lab along with some other items. After this, she tells Frank to go to the school where he would find a Royal Evo zombie so he can take it down and collect the queen inside its head. After this, Frank heads to Hammond's location, but when she sees Frank as a zombie and talks to her, she can't believe it. But soon Obscurus shows up, to which Frank uses his abilities to take them down with the aid of Hammond. After getting betrayed by Blackburn, Frank comes up with a plan to defeat Obscurus and to force Blackburn to cure him one way or another, clearing a path for Hammond to hijack a helicopter.
You are going to cure me, and then both of us are getting on that evac chopper, or I'm going to smash this window and rip you in half. You have 3 seconds to decide.
1, 2...
Fine! Fine. God damn you, Frank West.
After convincing Blackburn to help him, she gives him the instructions to help cure him of the zombification, but as he does the first step, the queen he took from the Evo zombie had become agitated and sends out a frequency that attracts the surrounding zombies to her. While Hammond and the others had been fighting off the horde of zombies above, Frank had to fight another horde directly in Barnaby's lab, while calibrating the machine, but eventually he manages to cure himself and they all get out just before the airstrike had arrived. After these events, Vic had published the truth behind the second Willamette incident, how the CDC had accused the Pentagon of attempting to cover up what really happened at Willamette, where Vic had also demanded for a UN inquiry, and how Frank had died trying to uncover the truth, sacrificing himself for the greater good. What she didn't know, however, was that Frank had been alive and well, but she was soon made aware that he managed to cure himself of the zombification process and collaborated with her in showing the government's falsities. Frank had even written a book about his experiences as a zombie, and it turned out to be a bestseller, even if no one had believed a word written in the book. But once again, households across America had known the name of Frank West, reinstating that legendary status. The future of the timeline is an uncertain one. While there had been a cure, that's not to say there won't be any more outbreaks to come, but it certainly does paint the picture that if there was to be another outbreak, then the survivors will be more equipped to survive the long haul, rather than succumbing to becoming a zombie. But perhaps there will be another outbreak that will continue to evolve the zombies, perhaps into ones even more terrifying than the ones previously seen. But one thing is for certain, no matter how many times we think it won't happen again, there always seems to be another moment of the dead rising. Special thank you to the members of the channel: Hammond, Sithlord 906, Killer 1260v2, Stabber OP Sig, Bronze 189, Ero Solano, Art Gains, Eric Harrison, Huckcast, and to the legend members, Afron2371 and Michael Boss. Thank you for giving that extra support to the channel, and if you want to become a member and gain exclusive benefits like early access to new videos as soon as possible, then hit the join button and click on the tier that's right for you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all back here very soon for some more history deep dives, lore, and much more in the future. Let me know what you think about the topics discussed in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. And be sure to join the British Alliance today by subscribing to the channel, and make sure to have all notifications on so you never miss a video, and I will see you all very soon. And be sure to leave this video having a good one.
Calls out reaction content as a devil. Features audience turn on the silver